Oh man. Okay. Here we go. Afghanistan was so weird. It's so weird to think about. Like, there was a time in my life that I went to war. The way that, like, fucking the ancient Egyptians did. Like, just, like, war is, like, the oldest fucking man-made thing. It's just, it's crazy, dog. Like, war is so insane. Like, it turns you into a completely different human being. Like, I just remember being in a foreign land. Like, I had sailed to fucking across oceans. I guess I flew, technically, but, like, I had crossed the globe. And I aided in the conflict of another nation. That is so insane. I will never forget that. I will never forget going to war. I remember it being really boring. It was really hot. It was Afghanistan in the summertime. And then, it was just like it was different. Like, it was kind of hectic, but like, it was really repetitive. So it could be mastered. So, like, you did get really good at your job because you just worked so much fucking harder. Like, we had, I don't know, 20 planes or something like that. 20 fucking planes, and we had, like, three-quarters of them up at, like, all times, dude. Like, we never fucking dropped a mission. I don't think we ever lost, like, we never lost a plane. We did, like, we brought a plane back. But, like, we always got our ship back, but, yeah. That was so crazy, too. Like, we had lost equipment behind enemy lines, and, like, those dudes could have gotten killed, like, getting our shit back. Like, dude, Peach flew out on a fucking 53 with, like, Pancake to go to some fucking base, and I think, like, Pancake watched the dude get beaten to death by a fucking guard, man. Like, Pancake told me a story like that, or Peach did. Like, that was fucking nuts. Oh, man. And then it was, like, really cold, just out of nowhere. It just dropped, like, fucking 50 degrees, like, in October, or, like, November. Because, like, Coffin, Charlie had been to Afghanistan, like, a year or two earlier, and he says it's going to be, like, hot, like, hot day, hot night, hot night, hot night, then, like, kind of warm night, cold morning, cold night, cold fucking winter, dog. Like, it's that quick. Like a day or two notice. And then it became a fucking, like, dude, wasteland, dog. Like, there was a fog of sand that just, like, came and went with the fucking wind. Like, the wind itself was coarse. And you would breathe in this sand. And it just, like, coated your lungs. And then you were used to it. And then some days, the air was so clear you could see the mountains in the distance. I don't know what mountains those were. But they were so close. You would never suspect that, like, something could be, like, that could be hidden. But the sand would hide anything, like, too far away. Like, what else did that fucking sand hide, man? Like, what else was in those mountains that we never caught? Like, ugh. Dude, war is nuts. That night when we fucking got attacked, man, I think about this every day. Every day of my life. I think about the Marine Corps, which I immediately think of Afghanistan, which immediately makes me think of September 14th, 2012. Just like Black Friday, or like Friday the 14th, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's like, I think about it every day. It's the only thing that I would, like, consider PTSD, and it doesn't, like, bother me at all. It doesn't, like, stop me in my tracks. It's like, just, I think about it constantly, every day. Like, I make the joke that if I had run, like, 10 or 15 seconds faster, like, I would have been in range of that fucking mortar that, like, killed that guy. Like, that's like pretty, like, chaos theory. Like, what are the chances? And I was like, I don't know. My chances were actually kind of close that time. I remember running on the flight line. I remember first, all right, we'll start at the beginning. First, there was a thump that woke me up. I was sitting in a chair in Fizz, and I guess it was just a slow day. Because we rarely got to fucking sit around and do nothing. Once well, it's not technically true, but like, when we were working, we were working. And, yeah, I heard a thump. And I kind of was like, whatever, that was weird. And then I heard like another thump, like, maybe like 10 seconds later. And like Thompson was next to me, and Thompson was this little flightline kid, a little 19-year-old with a little pencil mustache, little baby face. Not important. Anyway, he like kind of looked at me and said, like, "Do you feel that?" So I was like, all right, so I'm not crazy. And then like another thump. And I was like, that sounded really close. And I was like, I got up, and like Thompson and I walked out, and then the crazy part was someone walked out of flight line at the same time as us. Like, we weren't the only ones to hear this shit, and we walked outside, and there was like 2 or 3 dudes like out in front of the gym overlooking the highway, and they were like looking over to the fucking left. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so like I get like kind of like, oh, I'm in like defense mode. And we look down the street, and you can hear fire. It sounds like firecrackers, and like you just see lights go back and forth. And like Sergeant Blake from Ordnance was like, "Yo, that's small arms fire." And then Blake was like, "Yo, that's fucking AKs, dog." And so like we're like, "Holy shit, we're being attacked." And so we all just fucking, when you are in combat, I'm going to call this combat, but, yeah, your brain just fucking switches right back to fucking boot camp and, like, MCT and, like, that warrior mindset. I remember I ran into FaZe, and I, like, kind of shoved Staff Sergeant Bell out of the way. And he's like, "Yo, what's going on, man?" And I grabbed my rifle, and I was like, "Get your shit, we're being attacked." And I ducked out the back door. And I just ran. I just had my weapon, and I ran. I remember I passed by the helicopter in the hangar, I ran out to the throat. I ran out onto the flight line with, like, a bunch of other dudes. And I, like, racked one back. Man, my range coach fucking training came in, and, like, I racked one back, and I started running, and, oh man, I remember I was running on the flight line, and I kind of forget how far I had run, but like a fucking mortar goes off right in front of me. Like, it was probably farther away than I think it was, but like, I remember it being like within 70 yards. Like, I remember it being like close enough to like feel it, you know, like I felt it kind of bounce off me. And by that point, I was like near like this orange. I just remember this bright orange like container, like storage container, like a cargo ship, like a cargo container, whatever the fuck you call it. And I ducked behind it and I took cover. And I was like, "Holy fuck, dude, we're in a war right now." Like, I was reminded, like, yo, the enemy's got weapons, man. Like, you think you're the only ones with guns. And, yeah, I didn't know it at the time, but that mortar had killed somebody. Sergeant, I think his name is Brad Atwell, or Bradley Atwell from Mal's 16, I think. Apparently, that was a guy who, like, was just running, and I only heard what someone else saw, I think, so I don't know how reliable it is. But apparently he was just like, he saw the mortar or he saw something, and then must have like tried to get out of the way, but it was too late. And I think he took a bunch of shrapnel and a blast to the back. And I think he just was like thrown to the ground, and I think he just bled out immediately. which is like pretty fucking intense, dude. That's a pretty like brutal way to die, man. Like that's so quick. That's so quick and so violent. Like your last thoughts are like, what the fuck? And you just drop, dude. That's the end of it, man. Like that's how it goes. That's how a fucking war movie ends, man. That dude was like, and then again, that guy was like 70 yards in front of me, like at full sprint. Like that dude was like a few seconds ahead of me. Like that 30 seconds joke is a lie. It's definitely not 30 seconds. It's definitely like 5. So I was like, man, is it that I stalled with Blake too long? Did I grab my rifle too fast? Did I not tell Staff Sergeant Bell that I was out? Like, dude, 5 seconds could be anything. And that, truth be told, that has stayed with me. That lesson has really stayed with me. And I think about that every day. And like I say that joke all the time in my head that, man, if I had just like if I had just run faster, I wouldn't have to deal with this bullshit. And like it's like a really cynical joke, but like, dude, it's so fucking real. Like I've thought about that all the time. Like, what if I had run 5 seconds faster? That would have been it. Would my life have flashed before my eyes? Would I have gone to heaven? Would I have gone to hell? Would I have gone to purgatory? What would have happened to me? God, what the fuck? I was so close to death. And like sometimes I feel like I was robbed. I'll be honest. I always wondered, like, whoa, what would it have been like to die? Like right there. Dude, when you fucking die in the Marine Corps, like you are a fucking hero, dude. You just like become a fucking legend. Like your buddies will never forget you. And like they would be so attached to your memory that like they would carry that for the rest of their lives. They would carry on your memory. Like, dude, that's true friendship. Like, that's what it would have been like to, like, die in the Marine Corps. Like, yeah, it would be sad, but, like, dude, it would be so fucking poetic, man. To die in, like, a fucking, you can say it's a corporate war, you can say it's like, oh, a fucking war for oil, like, he died in the fucking Afghan wars, man, like, dude, you would get, like, the Bronze Star, like, dude, you get, like, fucking Medals of Honor for, like, dying doing crazy shit, like, not like I was gonna get one, but, like, you know, you get, like, an award or something, man, like, and, like, yeah, your parents, like, my dad would be really upset, but, like, he'd be, like, really depressed about it, but, like, he would, like, come to the squadron, and, like, he would, like, meet people, like, my dad would meet Russ, like, I guess if he was still, like, if he was when he got back, yeah, when he got back, like, he would meet, like, my family, like, my dad would meet my friends, like, my brothers and sisters in the Marine Corps. That would be so weird. What would they say about me? What would Russ say about me to my dad? I think Russ would be really proud of me. I really wanted, like, Russ. I just wanted him to like me so much. I was such a fucking schoolgirl. I was just a fan, dude. He, like, he was, like, my hero. He just was, like, God. Sounds creepy thinking about him so much, but it's true. Like, it's just, man, he left a really strong impression with me. And, like, if he were to meet my dad, like, I don't know, my dad would fucking probably be impressed. Who else would he talk to? He talked to Camo. He talked to, like, Todd, and he talked to, like, Eddie and the gang. Man, that'd be so weird. He'd talk to Garner. He'd talk to G. Maybe. Hopefully. If they came into contact.